The question of am I late is an important one to get into, and I guess that's where we shift over into the DeFi space. And I know you don't like the moniker DeFi necessarily, but when I'm talking about, are you up to speed in crypto right now? A lot of my friends, and this happened organically at a bar, we were talking about crypto, and the guy turns around and says, "Wow, you have all your stuff on Coinbase. You're not even getting any yield that you could be getting." And kind of he woke up to the fact that, okay, maybe I should start moving some things off of Coinbase or whatever wallet you use to actually start earning yield in some of these systems. And, it's not just one or two. There's a lot out there where you could be starting to earn yield.
Yeah, I mean, that's I think one of the core things to realize of crypto is that it's designed to make everything be more efficient. So it's like the value of my home is not locked up there. I kind of have deep liquidity on kind of unlocking that for its cash. And then when I go in and I buy something else or I put it to another use, there's still value associated with it. And I'm able to kind of carry and represent that in a bunch of different composable ways. The surface area of stuff that you can do is really, really, really broad as you become more advanced. But even in the beginning, the realization that why does Atom give you some staking rewards? Why are people airdropping coins of other Cosmos projects to people that are staking Atom? Why, when you go in liquidity pool, why does that give me yield? Is that purely kind of incentives from the protocol and they're sending out their distribution? Or is it actually just the raw fees that we're able to earn from kind of providing this valuable service of swapping? If I go in and I provide my dollars to then borrow something else against it, these are all operations that we can do in the normal world. This just makes it really fast and composable. But when your assets are in a centralized institution that's not doing those services on your behalf, you're actually just missing out on a lot of the potential upside, which over compounding is a crazy number. And this also lets us you not need to actually sell your assets when you can just borrow against them and go in and kind of deploy those into safe, conservative, interest-bearing assets.
I think that's the thing that's early. I feel there's a lot of people in crypto who are native with this stuff. They understand that, but I feel there's a lot of people who don't, who might look at, I can earn 4% on Coinbase if I hold Cosmos, but you can also earn 11% if you're staking it on their wallet, and so it's more than double what you could be making if it's just sitting there in Coinbase. And of course, on the back end, Coinbase is also staking some of this stuff, right? I mean, that's the spread that a lot of these centralized, wallets make money on.
Yeah, and exchanges are a great business. Any New York or traditional financial institution, those are big companies that make lots of money, that have lots of employees and office spaces, and then you have kind of these decentralized equivalents which go in and provide the same services, but the token itself gets you a percentage of the income that it makes. And so it's just buying and participating, just you're getting yield from adoption of these products.
How do you look at it though in terms of the security around it? Is it work? Because obviously it's not risk free. People like to turn to Coinbase because they don't want to worry about it. And obviously there are still issues, but I mean, it does open up, I guess, another question that people need to consider.
Yeah, I mean, the security is a really hard spectrum. It's from custodying to not custodying, you have to kind of care about your keys and kind of where everything is. And then you also have kind of the various types of operations that you can do with your assets, such as just holding it in cold storage, such as staking it with the validator, such as kind of depositing it into a protocol that's been around for a while for yield, or kind of be a more early adopter with new chains and stake on them or on new protocols and engage there. And the more something has been around, because everything is open, you kind of have all these potential people that would take advantage of any vulnerability. And so as things exist in this ecosystem, the likelihood of them getting hacked goes down unless those become core building blocks that everybody else is composing with, and then you kind of have this even larger surface area of risk. And so it's a really, really hard spectrum for people to navigate, especially if they're not technical and there aren't these kind of very bundled up insurance primitives on top of it.
This is the point in time where we would do an example if we wanted to do an example. All right, so if we were really trying to do this here and setting up a ability to earn yield outside of your Coinbase wallet, first step here for Cosmos in this example would be Kepler, which is what? Their wallet, right?
Yeah. And so Kepler supports all of the different Cosmos chains that are connected via IBC. So first you have to install it.
Ooh, awkward.
Yeah, I was going to tell you to click around a little bit on the side.
We'll take that out in post.
Well, we should just restart it then.
11.14% currently the APR that they have up here, which is quite a bit higher than the 4% or 5% Coinbase has. So we're in first steps to copy this address here.
Well, so first, one other thing that you can do is you can actually just check out the other Cosmos projects that are there. And so it's like each one is its own chain, but when you transfer coins into it, you can swap and stake for any of them. So go to like Osmosis, for example. That's like a different staking interface, and it's giving like 130%. You have like DVPN, Sentinel, doing 60%. So like as some of these chains have less adoption, their yields can be higher because they're being distributed to less people.
The question, of course, on all that is, if you're earning X% on something that could go to zero, still not great.
Yeah, of course. Yield on things that are going to go down is not good. But like already wanting and owning the asset because of what it's doing and being able to capture its cash flow, completely different story.
Yes. All right, so, to get the actual address itself, you can always go to your Chrome extension, I guess, and copy this.
Yep.
That's the best way to go. So currently have 0 Atom, just set this up, nothing in here, earn 11% per year, intriguing. So to do so, we go back over to our Coinbase and we say we want to send for this test to Atom 2, paste your address in there. And no memo, hit continue. And it is going to be sent. All right, so we've sent to Atom. Usually takes a few seconds. So we go back over to our Kepler browser and we basically wait for this to get updated.
Yeah, but so to stake, you would go into Cosmos, the Cosmos validator section, click stake. And then when you click stake, you're actually like assigning your Cosmos coins to one of these nodes which are validating and securing the network. And in exchange, you're capturing a part of the emissions and the fees. It's like you can go stake.
So if you see Coinbase custody here, what does that mean?
That means that is Coinbase that is running the validator node, and you're staking on their behalf. And so if you notice, they are taking just a 20% commission out of anybody that stakes for them, whereas some other validators are running at like much lower margins. And then also, like, it's unclear how much of the yield Coinbase or some of these other centralized providers will pass along if you do it via their interface. So Coinbase custody is, I think, different than when you click stake with Coinbase, because it means that like they're the wallet or provider that owns your assets.
And so, when they take a 2.5% commission in the case of Binance staking, you're basically giving them 2.5% of the yield.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. So you want to look for one with a low commission?
Yeah, but you don't. Some people do zero commission. I don't totally trust that because it doesn't seem sustainable. So I generally choose one of the, like Kraken, for example. If you stake with Kraken or Paradigm, like they're basically saying this is just for us, and so we're taking all of the yield. So if you stake with Paradigm or Kraken right now, those are validators which are not very friendly to your average Joe who wants to stake their assets.
Mm-hmm. So what should we do here? What do we think? Stake fish?
Yeah, I wish that they provided better guidance and had a better UI on making the decision across which validators are good, like what their reputation score is, but I think that'll happen with time.
All right, so we got our 2 Atom now. Here we go, and we said we want to try and stake Cosmos or Atom token here. So we go into stake, and we will choose, as we were discussing, stake fish and delegate. We're only going to do one because we also want to save one for swapping, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so when this, it's going to lock it for 21 days, yeah? And so we can't take that Atom out, but it will be earning.
Mm-hmm. And that's for that's because it needs to provide security for the network. You don't want to have like rapid amounts of assets that people are able to shift away too quickly from some of the security.
Similar to like, if you put your money in a bank,
Exactly.
you can't take it out right
Yep.
away. Over here, though, when you're dealing with different fees, this is just the speed of settlement.
This is how much like gas that you're doing. I don't know. Think the network is super clogged right now, so you could actually just go low.
All right, save. What is that?
9 cents.
Like almost, yeah, not bad. All right, so approve that. So now we're basically delegating one Atom token to this validator, Stakefish.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be earning 11% there versus the 5% you could have earned in Coinbase.
There we go.
So we are showing now we are staking one Atom.
Mm-hmm.
It's with Stakefish. It's here. This is where your yield will show up.
This is where your yield will show
Depending
up,
on
and
what-
then you periodically can go in and click claim and get the rewards, and you can either sell them to do other things with those dollars or compound it by restaking it. And so the compounding is a huge piece of where these things over the course of time really grow massively.
Yeah.
Because people
All right,
talk
cool.
about
So now,
some APYs are this very distracting because they're showing such high numbers, but those are not necessarily the ultra sustainable ones, but the ones that have like consistent emissions that are coming from the protocol and actual fees. That's very nice.